is just fantastic.
Captain's Log, Subdates 210729.3. Yesterday's concocted gift is now on its way to the Cabal, and I'm readying my vessel for war, not though with the Suliban, but with the second wave of Antifa protesters that have suddenly gotten big brave. Welcome everyone to the exhibition of stupid people. Today we are going to start with something sent to me via Twitter concerning PayPal. No doubt this will go well. It is a retweet of something sent by, I don't know how to pronounce that word actually, Business, which then leads to an article by, again, a name I don't know how to pronounce. PayPal are going to research transactions that fund hate groups and or extremists. For some, this could be seen as wrong. They shouldn't be controlling what others do with their money. It is like taking a page out of Barclay's book. If you don't know who they are, I mentioned them in last week's This Week at Twitter, where they are themselves not allowing you to invest your money in NFT, which I think is incredibly bad. Not NFT, but the controlling what one can and cannot spend their money on. You as a bank are not obliged to tell me what to spend it on. I will put it wherever I like. But with PayPal, it's a little different. Many of you may not know this, but PayPal heavily regulate those who can and cannot use or operate their business with PayPal services. This is very much well known because they stopped adult sites from operating via them. Many creators have been banned from using their site. A lot of the time, it comes down to very nonsensical reasons or logic, air quotes around that word. But with PayPal, it is very much well established that they work with the ADL. So when PayPal decide to start investigating how to deal with this and how to revoke financial platforms for groups they've determined because of the ADL's influence to be hateful and or extremist, it's hardly surprising at all that PayPal would seek to revoke one's access to their site. And for the sake of it, the main focus of the ADL Center on Extremism, which will be leading the initiative, is to focus on uncovering and disrupting the financial flow supporting white supremacist and anti-government organizations. The anti-government one intrigues me, but I have a strange feeling it's not the anti-government stuff we're all thinking of, which simultaneously would not surprise me, because the ADL is incredibly biased. They don't recognize extremism on a particular side of a, let's say, argument. Now they do claim they're also going to look at networks that spread and profit from anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, racism, anti-immigrant, anti-black, anti-Hispanic and anti-Asian bigotry. So Petty Page, they're going for you, okay? Again though, I will ask, is this a surprise for PayPal? And the answer will always remain no. Because we've all seen the list of those who are not allowed to use their services. Their terms of service are quite extensive. To move on from that in a completely different direction, I'd like to talk about the Tokyo Olympics. Some have pulled out, favourites have been eliminated. Other athletes have simply refused to compete, for reasons we'll get to in a moment, and it is with this in mind the case in point. Sudan's Mohamed Abdel Rasoul, who competes in judo, refused to turn up to his last of 32 contest because his opponent is Israeli, and because no matter how hard he has trained to get there, which he has admitted along with his trainer and others near him, was an incredible ask and hard work and dedication to get to the Olympics, to try and get yourself a 73 kilogram division medal, because that's the weight class he fights in. Standing up for Palestine was more important, so he made a statement by not turning up. Got to fight those pesky Israelis, right? And while we're in this ballpark of the Tokyo Olympics, Chinese diplomats are not very happy because their 49 kilogram weightlifter, who won gold in her division, who has a name I'm not even going to pretend I know how to pronounce, who because of the, well oddly enough, the last article I cited, the REUTERS, yes, they used an image for a thumbnail that they tweeted out of her performing a lift. And Well, this is the picture, and the Chinese embassy in Sri Lanka. Among all the photos of the game, the article people in question have chosen this one, which only shows how ugly they are. Don't put politics and ideologies above sports and call yourself an unbiased media organisation. Shameless. Not entirely sure what any of that has to do with the article in question referencing a Chinese athlete winning a medal, especially when you consider ugly faces sell. So the most unflattering picture you can find, yeah, on a thumbnail, that pops. It always does. It gets the attention. And this picture, well, it doesn't make me want to look at the article, but it does make me want to look at the image, because it's funny, and reminded me an awful lot of Beyoncé's Super Bowl pictures. And of course, one has to recognise, in reality, it is an embassy, a non-entity that no one really cares about in Sri Lanka who took issue, not the Chinese government themselves. Because if Winnie the Pooh had an issue with it, they would have already changed it by now. Next! We are yet again going to go in a completely different direction because I couldn't be bothered to find a theme or somehow manage to make these articles that we're going through sync up and transition seamlessly. We're going to Demi Lovato. Do I need to add any more to that? Or do we already know that Demi Lovato is knucking futs enough? Well, since Demi Lovato has come out as a few things and I can't remember which ones, no offense intended, I just have a really bad memory, Demi has thrown their weight behind an area of transphobia that they have taken great issue with. And this comes courtesy of those rather heinous people that take advantage of their defenseless fetuses via gender reveal parties. These parties to Demi are transphobic, but the part that really intrigues me, because this was a repost of support, is that Demi has supported something else. Someone else. And I don't like this person for a whole host of reasons, but I'm going to read a quote from Demi first. Transphobia is not just about prejudice against individual trans people. It's also a way of thinking that understands non-trans people as more natural, organic, and erases everyone else. These ideas, like the gender binary, fuel mistreatment of all people, but especially trans and gender non-conforming people. The repost in question comes from Alok, this person. Yes. If anyone knows anything about this person, more recently they were called out by Blair White for being a bona fide incel sex pest and having some rather interesting takes when it comes to younger ladies. I myself am not entirely sure what to make of Alok, this person. I'm really not. I didn't see the point in the article 3 years ago that came out saying, why can't people like Alok get laid? That means nothing to me, I don't care in the slightest. Although I think my earlier mentioning them as an incel might be a reason. And Demi promoting this person is a bad look. I'm hoping eventually some finally get off their high horse and accept they shouldn't be promoting people like Alok, this person. So to our final subject, which actually does transition quite handily. We go to Da Baby. I have no idea who you are. I'm going to guess a rapper who at a Rolling Loud festival in Miami invited every audience member to, air quotes, put your cell phone light up, apart from those who were HIV positive or gay men who had sex in car parks, along with making a claim that those with HIV will die in 2 or 3 weeks. Understandably, this took a little while before anyone actually noticed it and decided to call him out. Can anyone guess why? Now, one of the first to call him out was actually somebody that had worked with him, because, they have to. But the more notable person to address this is Elton John, who pointed out that these comments are misinformation, homophobic, fuels a stigma and discrimination, and is the opposite of what our world needs to fight the AIDS epidemic. It is worth noting, as far as HIV treatment goes, there's plenty of it. Dying within 2 to 3 weeks. No, I don't know where you got that statistic from. And understandably, Da Baby has been trending all week because of this. Ish. Most of it. It took a while again to get any traction. And to be honest, these comments are incredibly stupid. But for obvious reasons, it took a while for anyone to bother getting around to calling it out. Now, Da Baby has come out and said that these are twisted words, and that he is appreciated by straight and gay fans. going so far as to say his gay fans do not have AIDS and called people with the illness nasty and junkies on the street, adding that even his gay fans have got standards. There's a shovel in his hands and he has been digging. He just hasn't quite buried himself yet. But give it time. Give it time. I'm sure that'll, change. Anyway, as we're done, I'd like to know what you think, so please do let me know in the comments down below. As a final thing, I'm streaming on Twitch tonight. If I don't see you there, have a fantastic day. And thank you all very much for listening.